This is part 4 of the series on the blindness of feeling untouchable. Before we begin, subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and drop your questions in the comments. I will answer all questions asked as they come. If untouchable thinking can grow quietly, then breaking it must also happen intentionally. Blindness does not usually leave by accident. It has to be confronted. It has to be interrupted. It has to be resisted with honesty, humility, and discipline. The first step is honest self-examination. A person must stop asking only external questions such as, am I still winning, still respected, still visible, still effective? Those questions can hide the truth, because public success can coexist with private drift. Better questions are these. Am I still teachable? Am I still receptive to truth? Am I harder to correct than I used to be? Have I started giving myself special permission? Have I become more committed to image than integrity? Honest questions break open rooms where ego prefers to remain comfortable. The second step is restoring the value of correction. If you want to break untouchable thinking, you must stop treating correction like an attack. Correction is not always pleasant, but it is often protective. Sometimes the voice that frustrates you is the voice helping to save you. Sometimes the interruption you dislike is the interruption protecting your future. Wise people do not merely tolerate correction. They build room for it. They ask for it. They stay close to people who can tell them the truth without fear. The third step is returning to boundaries. Pride loves special exemptions. Humility accepts healthy limits. Boundaries are not insults to your strength. They are structures that help preserve your strength. They keep desire from becoming destruction. They keep opportunity from becoming overreach. They keep pressure from turning into compromise. When a person starts rebuilding boundaries, they are not becoming smaller. They are becoming safer, clearer, and more trustworthy. The fourth step is recovering gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most effective antidotes to self-exalting blindness. Gratitude remembers help. Gratitude remembers timing. Gratitude remembers mercy, grace, and the fact that no one rises purely by private power. When gratitude returns, entitlement weakens. Arrogance loses air. The person becomes more grounded because they no longer interpret every blessing as proof of personal superiority. They remember they have been helped, taught, covered, corrected, and carried in more ways than pride likes to admit. The fifth step is slowing down enough to hear yourself clearly. Many people remain blind because they stay busy enough to avoid reflection. Noise protects illusion. Constant motion can hide internal drift. But when a person slows down, they start noticing what their reactions have been saying. They start hearing the tone of their own defensiveness. They start recognizing where impatience, contempt, envy, insecurity, or entitlement have been hiding. Silence can be uncomfortable, but it is often where false strength begins to lose its disguise. Another key step is reconnecting with people who are allowed to tell the truth. You need people with enough courage and enough care to speak honestly. You need relationships where you do not have to perform invincibility. You need spaces where you can admit weakness without collapsing into shame. You must also learn to separate confidence from self-exemption. Confidence says, I can handle responsibility with focus and discipline. Self-exemption says, the usual warnings no longer apply to me. Confidence remains alert. Self-exemption becomes casual. Confidence welcomes learning. Self-exemption resists challenge. Confidence grows stronger through truth. Self-exemption grows more fragile because it is built on illusion. If you can learn that difference, you will protect yourself from calling pride by more attractive names. There is also a practical discipline here. Return to what kept you sober when you were smaller. Return to prayer if you have drifted. Return to journaling if you have stopped reflecting. Return to accountability if you have become too independent. Return to wise routines if you have become improvisational in dangerous areas. Return to habits that helped you stay aware of your humanity. Sometimes the cure is not flashy. Sometimes it is simply a humble return to practices you quietly abandoned once success started making you feel advanced. And when you discover that pride has already done some damage, respond quickly. Apologize where needed. Tell the truth where needed. Repair what can be repaired. Accept consequences where necessary. Do not waste energy protecting an image that truth has already pierced. The sooner you become honest, the sooner healing can begin. Some people lose more than they should because they keep defending themselves, long after reality has already exposed the problem. Humility may feel costly in the moment, but denial usually costs more. It is also important to remember that staying humble is not a one-time achievement. It is a repeated choice. Every new season can tempt a person to feel above warning again. Every fresh success can invite new delusion. Every increase in visibility, praise, money, power, or influence can create a new opportunity to forget your limits. That is why humility must be maintained. It must be practiced. It must be refreshed. Clear sight is not something you win once and keep forever without care. So what does staying humble look like in real life? It looks like inviting correction before crisis. It looks like checking your motives while you are still being applauded. It looks like honoring boundaries when nobody is forcing you to. It looks like saying thank you instead of acting entitled. It looks like slowing down long enough to reflect. It looks like remembering that being gifted does not make you beyond temptation, and being successful does not make you beyond consequence. If this series has been meaningful to you, subscribe, like, share, and leave your questions in the comments. This is part 4 of the series, and I will answer all questions asked as they come. The blindness of feeling untouchable is broken when a person willingly returns to truth, humility, gratitude, correction, and honest self-awareness. Stay teachable, stay grounded, stay interruptible, stay under truth. The goal is not to become fearful. The goal is to remain clear-sighted, steady, and wise, even when life is going well. That is how real strength lasts. Remember, the cure is not pretending to be small. It is staying honest enough to remember you are human, accountable in need of wisdom.